Good evening. Welcome to Comfort and Courage with Father Jim Perra. I'm Jim. Tonight, as always, we will be reading my daily prayers from Celtic Treasure by J. Philip Newell. We will have a little bit of news updating for the Grace Episcopal Church Traverse City community, and we will have a reading, as we have sort of become accustomed to over the past week and a half, I guess. So first, a little news. On Good Friday, in addition to our Tenebrae service, which we will be live casting in the evening, I have participated in Central United Methodists' inter-church service, which will also be live streamed or streamed, cast earlier on the day on Good Friday. Information about that will come out in our email this week. Additionally, we will be doing our Easter Vigil on Saturday evening, as well as our Saturday morning church service. The Easter Vigil, I believe, will start at 8. I'm really looking forward to that. We have chosen to cast these services from the Memorial Garden, sort of a garden of repose, which we can celebrate in as we prepare for the time when we can return together and celebrate here at Grace Episcopal Church. So that is all. As I always do, I will check the chat comments at the end of the service or the night, and see if there's any questions that anyone has that I can answer. In the meantime, let me just go ahead and let's begin our evening prayers. We are on day 6 of a section of the second week in this book of days that we have from Philip Newell. Day 6 of a chapter called Journey and Promise. And as always, our service begins with the lighting of a candle. And let's go ahead and take 3 deep breaths. We light a light in the name of the God who creates life, in the name of the Savior who loves life, in the name of the Spirit who is the fire of life. Let us be still and aware of God's presence within us and all around us. Moses returned to Egypt to lead his people from slavery into freedom. He told Pharaoh, the king of the land, to let the Hebrew people go, but the king's heart was hard and he became even more cruel. He called the slaves lazy and had them beaten as they worked. So Moses warned the king that his country would suffer if he did not change. Darkness settled over the land. The east wind brought clouds of grasshoppers that ate everything before them. Nothing green was left growing in the fields, but still the king's heart was closed. Thunder, Lightning and hailstones crashed down from the skies. Tens of thousands of water creatures emerged from the flooding rivers. Frogs swarmed the royal palace. Toads slept in the king's bed. Tadpoles lined the kitchen cupboards, and slime covered the castle floors. And the magicians of the court could do nothing. Finally, after even more disasters, the king relented, saying, "Let the slaves go." So Moses and the Hebrew people began their march to freedom. Men and women, young and old, cattle and sheep journeyed together. An angel of light traveled before them in a cloud by day and a flame by night. It led them to the Sea of Reeds, where they paused to rest. But Pharaoh's heart again was hardened, and he came out to capture them. Horses and chariots, riders and foot soldiers raced after the Hebrew slaves, but the cloud of God moved between them, and a mist separated Pharaoh's army from the fleeing slaves. Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and an angel of the east drove the waters back with a mighty wind. By early morning, the sea had become dry land, and the slaves crossed in safety. Pharaoh's army followed, but the angel of God confused them. Chariot wheels became clogged with mud, and horses began to panic. Moses again stretched out his hand over the sea, and from the west the dark waters returned. Waves washed away Pharaoh's chariots, and his soldiers sank into the sea. On the far shore of the waters, Moses and the people stood free, and Miriam, Moses' sister, led the women in a dance. The reflective reading that I've chosen tonight is a poem. And before I go any further, I'm going to warn you, in just a few moments, you're going to see me probably lick my thumb, which I know in today's COVID-19 climate is a very dangerous thing to do, so I assure you that I've washed my hands and sanitized them multiple times before this moment. But it is dry in here, and I have pages to turn. The poem is called On the Pulse of the Morning, and it's by my favorite poet, Maya Angelou. This particular poem was read by her and written for the 1993 presidential election. And I think the message that it offers us as a people of God and a people of this nation is useful now as it was then, and will bring both comfort and courage. At least it does to me. It may be a bit of challenge. A rock, a river, a tree, hosts to species long since departed, mark the mastodon, the dinosaur who left dry tokens of their sojourn here on our planet floor. Any broad alarm of their hastening doom is lost in the gloom of dust and ages. But today, the rock cries out to us clearly and forcefully, "Come, you may stand upon my back and face your destiny, but seek no haven in my shadow. I will give you no hiding place down here. You, created only a little lower than the angels, have crouched too long in the bruising darkness, have lain too long face down in ignorance, your mouths spelling words armed for slaughter. The rock cries out today, you may stand on me, but do not hide your face. Across the wall of the world, a river sings a beautiful song. Come, Rest here by my side, each of you a bordered country, delicate and strangely made proud, yet thrusting perpetually under siege. Your armed struggles for profit have left collars of waste upon my shore, currents of debris upon my breast. Yet, today, I call you to my riverside. If you will study war no more, come, clad in peace, and I will sing the songs the Creator gave to me when I and the tree and stone were one. Before cynicism was a bloody sear across your brow, and when you yet knew you still knew nothing. The river sings and sings on. There is a true yearning to respond to the singing river and the wise rock. So say the Asian, the Hispanic, the Jew, the African and Native American, the Sioux, the Catholic, the Muslim, the French, the Greek, the Irish, the rabbi, the priest, the sheik, the gay, the straight, the preacher, the privileged, the homeless, the teacher. They hear. They all hear the speaking of the tree. Today, the first and last of every tree speaks to humankind. Come to me here beside the river. Plant yourself beside me here beside the river. Each of you, descendant of some passed on traveler, has been paid for. You who gave me my first name, you Pawnee, Apache, and Seneca, you Cherokee nation who rested with me, then forced on bloody feet, left me to the employment of other seekers, desperate for gain, starving for gold. You, the Turk, the Swede, the German, the Scot, you, the Ashanti, the Yoruba, the Crew, bought, sold, stolen, arriving on a nightmare, praying for a dream. Here, root yourselves beside me. I am the tree planted by the river, which will not be moved. I, the rock, I, the river, I, the tree. I am yours. Your passages have been paid. Lift up your faces. You have a piercing need for this bright morning dawning for you. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be outlived, and if faced with courage, need not be lived again. Lift up your eyes upon the day breaking for you. Give birth again to the dream. Women, children, men, take it into the palms of your hands, mold it into the shape of your most private need, sculpt it into the image of your most public self. Lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for new beginnings. Do not be wedded forever to fear, yoked eternally to brutishness. The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the courage to look up and out upon me, the rock, the river, the tree, your country. No less to Midas than the mendicant, no less to you now than to the mastodon then. Here on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's eyes, into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, very simply with hope, good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Angelou. I hope you are celebrating with our heavenly parent right now. And I hope that you are looking down with sympathy and some degree of pride as God's children struggle through this difficult moment. Let us continue our evening's prayer. In the silence of our hearts or in spoken words, let us give thanks for the gift of this day and pray for the life of the world. Tonight I'm giving thanks for this community, this Grace Episcopal Church, for the way that even when we cannot be present physically for one another, I see people reaching out and holding on to one another and supporting one another and trying to meet the needs they see in the greater world and in each other. I am giving thanks for my friend family all around this world tonight, some of whom who I've been able to see because of this habit of reaching out digitally that I haven't been able to spend time with in decades. And I am thanking God for the family that I was born into and the family that I've been given through adoption, and how lovely they are and how much I miss them and look forward to seeing them on the other side of this. I am praying tonight for the people of Wisconsin who have been forced to choose between losing their franchise to vote and being confronted and having their families confronted with the danger of this virus in crowded places. I pray for their leaders. I pray for all of our leaders tonight, and I pray for our country. Let me take a moment and a breath for you to add whatever prayers you like. For mighty winds that sweep across the seas, and your mighty spirit that disturbs the waters of life, thanks be to you, O God. For the spirit of freedom that stirs our passions and the longings for liberty that surge from human depths, thanks be to you. Within us, between us, and among us in our world, hear the cry of earth's bound people. Within us, between us, and among us, O God, hear earth's cry for liberty. The blessings of heaven, the blessings of earth, the blessings of sea and sky on those we love this day, and on every human family, the gifts of heaven, the gifts of earth, the gifts of sea and sky. Amen. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm going to take a look at our comments. Thank you to all those who are here. Stay dry. Don't let the thunder, lightning get you too riled up. And until we see each other again, may the peace of the Lord be always with you.